run over the task that we did today and some suggestions of how I would do it, and a bit of knowledge about how Medium works as well, and how you can bring copyright free images and media and social media embeds to your work to enrich it, which was really the point of today's work, how to take writing and then put it into a blog or a website and to enrich it with all of this stuff. So I'm going to talk you through what I've done here. This is my sort of published version, and you have to publish to get the effect of embeds to check that they work properly. So I have published this. So we're not looking at the content or the headlines today. We'll do stuff like that in the future. I just wanted to run through some of the things that are possible on here. So the first picture I've got is a screenshot of Beckham with Phil Neville, who I think maybe at the time was the manager. I can't remember. He's one of the class of '92 anyway. And I like this picture because it's got people in it, and that's always ideal. If you can get a picture of people, put that as your main image. But they're holding up the flag, and they're recognisably at the ground as well. So you can see behind them it says Peninsula, and there's a church spire in the area, and there's that very tall lighting gantry, all recognisable as Beckham being at the ground. So what I talked about in this lecture was, don't just get an old random picture of Beckham. That doesn't work. We want a picture of Beckham at the ground because it emphasises the two core elements of the story: David Beckham and Salford City FC. So you can see I've given this a caption. People are asking what's the right way of kind of captioning stuff and crediting stuff. It doesn't really matter what you write as long as it's clear, what it is. So I've written a little bit about what's exactly happening here. And then I've said image is a screenshot from Salford City on Twitter, and I've linked to it. So if you click this, it's going to take you to the source of the image. And let's say I'm marking this. If I click through this link, I can instantly understand that you've done this correctly, that you've got a screenshot from this particular video. Let me just pause that there before it goes any further. So basically, I'm not going to kind of prescribe a particular way to do this. Just ensure that there is no doubt whatsoever where you got this from. And the best way of doing it is just to link to where you got it from. It's foolproof if you do it that way. So I've bolded the first part and I've put in a drop cap. That's called a drop cap. And it's a good way of signifying the start of a story. I've got the kind of the version I'm editing here as well. So if I copy all of this, you can see, well, there's the bold, and that's how I bold and unbold it. And if I try and highlight this, I bet it's not going to work now. It's being awkward. But there's basically a way that I can add, there it is, a drop cap, which is that one there. It basically just means that you get a big S, or you get a big letter that's at the start of it, which is a signifier. Even if you don't know it, even if you don't understand why you've not noticed it before, you instinctively understand that that's the start of the article. So little things, but a lot of little things add up to a successful article with this online stuff. In the second part, I've put a link, pardon me, my voice is going a little bit, to Class of '92. That's the group of people that now essentially run and own Salford City. Gary Neville, Phil Neville, Ryan Giggs, Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes. Beckham is also one of them. So there's a link there in case you think, well, what's that? Well, I've given you a link that explains exactly what it is. You can read through that if you want. So I'm trying to help the reader understand as much as I can. I found this video on YouTube and Salford City's YouTube account. I think I just probably Googled Salford City Beckham YouTube, and it brings me straight to this. So that whole thing is a bit of a recent history, but then getting to Beckham coming along, and then it gives a bit of an explanation as to why he's invested in Salford. I've embedded this, so I don't need to link back to it because the embed in itself is a link. So there's no need to add an additional link to that, or explain really what it is. I've put a little thing underneath anyway, just explaining, what it is, because why not? It's helpful to readers to understand that. I've then got a secondary picture of Beckham, and This is not a picture of Beckham at Salford, but it's just a bit of kind of background about him. You can see I just found a random stat, about him, which I thought might be helpful. I want to get something about Manchester United because that's where he spent most of his career, and that's essentially the local connection prior to this. And then I've just written image credit, and if you click on that, it takes you to where I got this image. Looking a bit weird on that picture, I think, but it's a good quality image. Now, this page is a good one to link to because I can see the image and the image credit. So this material, sorry, not that material around there. This material round here is the licensing information, and you can see there CC, which means Creative Commons. What you don't want to do is link to, because I can keep clicking through. I can get to this page. If you link to this page, I can't see the image credit, and I can't go back, like that, because it's just a link to this page. So link to a page that has both image and image credit information on it. Just a bit of a heads up as to how I kind of got there in the first place. Went to Google, search for David Beckham, hit images, and then hit tools, and then hit Creative Commons licenses. Let's just undo some of that sort of stuff. So if I go to images, I'm going to get tons of images, basically all of Beckham, the vast majority of which will be illegal for me to use, so I can't use them. So I've got to go to tools, and then usage rights, and then Creative Commons licenses. Don't hit commercial, hit Creative Commons licenses. And then this gives me everything that I need. So don't link to this either. Click through, get a good quality image, and then link to that page. So there is the image further down, in situ. I've put it off to one side just to kind of make it look a little bit more interesting. The way you can do that is to click on an image, and then you'll get this pop-up text here, and you can kind of go forwards and backwards like that. Sometimes you can make it even bigger. There's a few different things you can do with it. So there's my credited copyright-free image. I've put embed here because I want to come back to this. Now, I've had some problem with using embeds, and I'm not sure entirely what's going on here. I've managed to get tweets working, but I haven't got Instagram posts or Facebook posts working. And I think Medium has kind of withdrawn the functionality there. There are pages on here that will tell you, what you can embed. And it says Instagram is still embeddable. So I don't know if something's going on at the moment and it'll start working again. What I want to do is show you how to embed, and I just do it the simplest way possible. Almost anything that can be embedded using a URL. So the URL is that address at the top. So if I copy that, and I'm going to go down this bit where I've written embed, just delete that. If I hit that and then hit return, it pops up. It's a bit wonky, but when I publish it, it's all there. It basically all appears. So it's as simple as that, basically. I've not got Facebook or YouTube to work. Facebook or Instagram to work. Here's what I would do if I were using WordPress. Again, I'll just copy that link and paste it in. With Facebook, what you need to do is generate a unique URL. And what's going on here? I think it's been auto-playing. So let me try that again. So I've just searched for Beckham, Salford, Facebook, something like that. The way that you generate a unique URL, if I don't have one already, is to hit the timestamp. So it might say a few seconds ago, or it might say yesterday, or it might say 23rd of January 2019. But if I click that, it generates a unique URL. And that can often be used to embed. It definitely works in WordPress, which you will come on to use in due course. I can't get it working in Medium at the moment. So what I've done is I suggested a workaround, which is that you could screenshot stuff like that if you want to embed it. Screenshotting social media posts is fine. What we can't do is download images from them and upload them. We can screenshot the whole tweet and use that. It's a weird grey area, and I know it's imprecise as to how come you're allowed to do some things but not others. but the law decides, and the law decides that this is okay. And it decides that if I downloaded that image there and re-uploaded it to my blog, that is not okay. So it might seem a bit subtle, but there you go. I've also managed to embed a Google map. Now, this is a Google map that we can interact with, which I think is important. It not just screenshotting, the map, but we can move it around and we can engage with it and we can click on that, and it should bring up an address and things like that as well. And we could go to the satellite view, maybe kind of get an idea of where it is in relation to other stuff. We'll do more stuff on Google Maps in weeks to come. I just wanted to show you how I did that. So I just searched for Peninsula Stadium, something like that. Let's try it again. Peninsula Stadium. I don't think there's any others around the world, but let's search for that one. And then we just go to Maps. This is an occasion where the URL won't do anything. What you need to look for is some indication that we can share this or embed it in some way. If we hit share and then we hit embed a map, it's going to generate some code for us. We could get slightly different code depending on what size we want, stuff like that. But you basically copy that and then bring it across to your work. So let me delete that one that I've got in there. Someone asked, how do you delete stuff? You could just do that. If you're struggling to input stuff, what you need to do is just hit enter and create space between paragraphs, and it will give you this little plus sign. There's something for uploading images. You can search Unsplash for copyright-free images. You can add a video if you've got the URL, but you also just need to paste in the URL. That adds just this little kind of break in the story. Don't really know why you'd want to do that. And this is for your embed code. So if we paste in that embed code, it should work. And it might take a few minutes, and maybe I need to publish it first. I'm not sure. But that's how you do it, basically. So there's save and publish if you want to sort of check that out and check that it works. Here's one I did earlier, just to kind of flag that up. So I hope that was helpful. Getting used to these things is basically just about using them week after week. So we'll do a lot of this stuff until it's basically second nature to you. Hope that was helpful. I'll see you soon.